You're listening to Make Some Noise podcast, Minisode number 599. Welcome to Make Some Noise podcast, your guide for strategies, tools, and insight to empower yourself. I'm your host, Andrea Owen, global speaker, entrepreneur, life coach since 2007, and author of 3 books that have been translated into 18 languages and are available in 22 countries. Each week, I'll bring you a guest or a lesson that will help you maximize unshakable confidence, master resilience, and make some noise in your life. You ready? Let's go. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the podcast. I'm so glad that you're here. I've been overthinking this particular episode for a while now, so I just decided to turn on the microphone and start talking. Please forgive me if it's a winding road, but it won't be the first time that you've listened to a podcast episode of mine that takes you down a windy road, right? All right. First, speaking of windy roads, if you want to still sign up for Write Your Way Through It, which is a journaling group coaching program that I'm facilitating right now. I was going to say teaching, but I'm not teaching in the program. I'm facilitating. There's still time to sign up. You've only missed the first week where we did introductions and intentions. So there's still plenty of time for you to get in and get a lot of value and key takeaways away from that. AndreaOwen.com/program. Of course, that link will be in the show notes. It's really for anyone who either is consistent with their journaling. I think there might be one person in the program who said that she's consistent with her journaling, but mostly for people who want to kickstart and to be motivated and inspired to journal again, whether you're going through something hard or not. I would say a third of the people are going through something hard. The rest of them are just going through life. And I give out specific journaling prompts. So there's some laser coaching as well. It's also become kind of a group effort and interactive with everyone. So if other people have suggestions when they hear what you're wanting help with, then I let people help. I mean, it's not just all about me. It's about you and your peers. And so I would love for you to join us, AndreaOwen.com/program for more information on that. And today I'm talking about grief. I say it like that because it's grief. I also say it like that because I've been here before. I coach a fair amount of women too who come to me about something, I don't know, let's say like work-life balance is the topic that they want some coaching on. And then they sort of offhandedly or casually mention, like, my mom died 6 months ago, or I lost my dog a few weeks ago. Something big that happens that is heavily coded in grief. I almost said grease. Same thing. Grief, grease, similar. And the reason I bring up those examples is because many times we try to run from it. We try to hide from it. We try to outsmart it. Yoga it away, personal growth book, reading it away, just ignoring it altogether, shoving it down with work, wine, food, shopping, any kind of distraction. And it sticks around. It really has a way of just being unrelenting. Absolutely unrelenting. And as I make my way through my second divorce, we're just barely getting separated at this point. Grief is a big part of my day-to-day life right now. And I think I've had practice in this with when my dad died in 2016, it was my first party, if you will, of dealing with pretty massive grief, the kind that's unrelenting, and having to come to terms with living through it in my day-to-day life. Like, I still have to show up to work every day. I still have to parent my kids. I still have to go to the grocery store and like do all these things with this undercurrent that's woven through, and its name is grief. And it's one of those universal experiences that if you have never dealt with it in your life, or maybe it's been a long time since you've dealt with it, you will face it again. And what I have learned is that, and this is, of course, just my experience, but I've talked to a lot of people who have gone through something similar, and they agree that the things that can take you out are not necessarily things like anniversaries or, like actually signing on the dotted line, or when it's someone's birthday that you care deeply about that's not in your life anymore. Like actually moving your children out of the house when they're leaving the nest. Those, of course, are heavy things, and you're going to have whatever emotional experience you're going to have when those things happen. And they're big, but I've found also that it's these little moments that will hurt and sometimes like take me out, just bring me to my knees. And that's what I wanted to talk about today. And my hope is to normalize this, is to normalize all the different ways that grief can show up in our lives, so that if and when it happens to you, you're like, oh, there it is. I've been expecting you. Because I remember it came to quite a shock to me. So I'm gonna try to keep this one short and sweet. And in doing so, I'm going to take a quick ad break. And when we come back, I am going to finish up and tell you the kind of moments that have really taken me out over the last year or so, year plus. Be right back. Shopify's already taken the cash register online, helping millions sell billions around the world. But did you know that Shopify can do the same thing at your retail store? Give your point of sale system a serious upgrade with Shopify. With Shopify, you get a powerhouse selling partner that effortlessly unites your in-person and online sales into one source of truth. Track every sale across your business in one place and know exactly what's in stock. Connect with customers inline and online. Shopify helps you drive store traffic with plug-and-play tools built for marketing campaigns from TikTok to Instagram and beyond. Get hardware that fits your business. Take payments by smartphone, transform your tablet into a point of sale system, or use Shopify's POS Go mobile device for a battle-tested solution. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/noise, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/noise to take your retail business to the next level today. Shopify.com/noise. Fast forward to the end of 2024 and think about your goals. What can you do right now to give yourself the best chance of succeeding? If you want to learn a new language, you absolutely should get Babbel. Don't pay hundreds of dollars for private tutors or waste hours on apps that don't really help you speak the language. Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons are handcrafted by over 200 language experts to help you start speaking a new language in as little as 3 weeks. Babbel's designed by real people for real conversations. Studies from Yale, Michigan State University, and others continue to prove Babbel is better. One study found that using Babbel for 15 hours is equivalent to a full semester at college. Now it's so easy to speak simple conversation phrases with the guy that takes care of my lawn without having to consult language apps. Here's a special limited time deal for our listeners. Right now, get up to 60% off your Babbel subscription, but only for our listeners at babbel.com/noise. Get up to 60% off at babbel.com/noise, spelled BABBEL.com/noise. Rules and restrictions may apply. I have definitely been in that place where my paycheck ran out before the next one got here. Life doesn't happen bi-weekly, so why should payday? The money you earn can be in your hands today with Earnin. Earnin is an app that gives you access to your pay as you work, up to $100 per day or up to $750 per pay period. Just download the Earnin app and verify your paycheck. Then access up to $100 a day as you work and leave an optional tip. Any money you access plus tips are automatically repaid from your next paycheck. You can use Earnin to pay for a girls' night out, a last-minute gift for a loved one, or even summer camp for the kids. Make Earnin a part of your financial routine and join Earnin's over 3.5 million customers who say things like, when I think about Earnin, I think about financial stability, security. It gives me a lot of peace of mind. Download Earnin today, spelled EARNIN, in the Google Play or Apple App Store. When you download the Earnin app, type in noise under podcast when you sign up. It really, really helps the show. Noise under podcast. Subject to your available earnings, location, daily max, and pay period max. See earnin.com/TOS for details. Earnin is a financial technology company, not a bank. Bank products are issued by Evolve Bank and Trust, member FDIC. All right. So again, this is my second time getting divorced. My first time was in 2006. And it was a much different situation, I believe, because it was definitely, my husband had an affair and got his girlfriend pregnant. So it was a case where it was a clear break. Like there was this inciting event that happened that was like, okay, we can no longer be together. And he didn't want to. I mean, even if I wanted to forgive him and make it work, he was clear that, he was in love with this other woman and wanted to build a life with her. And so it was a quote unquote clean break in that way. We also did not have children together, which I think the heartbreak of losing the relationship feels the same, but we didn't have that added layer of, I don't have a better word except complication with having kids. Like we were able to break away from each other and not have any reason to still communicate. With this relationship, that is not the case. I have to keep communicating with this person that I have had this heart-shattering thing happen with. And so I want to kind of mention these smaller things that have happened that really have taken me out. I won't get into the details of why we're still in the same house together, but we are. It's been a while since we decided to end our marriage, and as I'm recording this in the very, very end of April 2024, we're finally getting to the end of the point where we're going to still live in the same house, and I am actually going to be the one that's leaving the marital home. And there are good reasons for it, but I'm going to be starting over. I'm excited about having my own place. I like this house a lot, but damn, we're on an acre. It's a lot of yard to take care of. I won't miss that. And it's just a lot of house for one parent and two children and a dog. It's a lot of house. So I'm excited to be, I'm of course sad for leaving this house that I've lived in for 9 years. And, but excited, really excited to be able to have my own place for the first time in a very, very long time. So one of the things that it took me out that I was not expecting is packing up my things. And I was in the bathroom, and, a bathroom that had been mine for 9 years. And I had my own sink and drawers. It was a, primary bathroom. And I packed everything up and looked down, and the drawers were empty. And I think that this can also happen when you move, like when you leave a home that you've grown attached to for whatever reason. Packing up can be a grieving process. And it was for me, looking at those bathroom drawers that were empty, except for a few of my stray hairs and like a bobby pin. It was devastating. It just was so symbolic of the emptiness that I was feeling, and just logistically having to move my things to another place. I also found, as you move, you probably are like me and you try to throw out a bunch of stuff, donate a bunch of stuff, organize all of your things. And I found the container where I had kept all of the cards from my soon-to-be ex-husband from the course of our relationship and our marriage, as well as a lot of pictures. And I didn't have to do this, but I made the choice to sit down and look through them all. And I'm keeping them because they're important to me. And, I don't think that's the right choice for everyone, but it's the right choice for me now. But looking through that it was just gut-wrenching. absolutely gut-wrenching. The other thing that I've been thinking about are like all these like small noises in this house that you kind of take for granted that you're just like, just the noises of the house. Like there's a couple of different spots in the upstairs where the floor squeaks, the boards underneath are squeaking. The way that the back door sounds when we open it to go either in and out to the backyard or to let the dog in and out, even the garage door, the swooshing sound that it makes, like these sounds get just embedded in your mind and they feel safe. You know, as long as you feel safe in your home, like these are the noises, like the music of your home, if you will. And realizing that I'm not going to hear those anymore, that they're going to be a distant memory, which I will soon probably forget. And embedded in these memories, whether it's all of the cards and pictures or the sound of the doors opening and closing, or even, you know, my bathroom drawers, the majority of them, at least it is the case for me, the vast majority of the essence and the memories and the feelings and experiences that I've had here have been positive, have been just drenched in love, drenched in it. And all of this packing up and all of this getting ready to leave has been such a simultaneously two things. The immense grief that I feel for having to say goodbye to this home and especially goodbye to my marriage. And at the same time, immense gratitude for the more than decade and a half relationship that I've had with this person. We had a great run. And it's, I feel honored to have been able to share my life with this person. I feel honored to have been able to raise our children together, even though how it ended wasn't my favorite. I wish it could be different now, but it is my absolute honor to have been able to have walked through a decent portion of my life, decent chunk of my life alongside this person with another human being like that. I'm in reverence around it. Which brings me to one more thing I want to mention. If anyone has gone through a divorce specifically, because this doesn't happen in breakups because we don't involve the federal government in breakups or in relationships where we're not married, I should say. And I don't remember this being such a thing in my first marriage. I think because we didn't have children together, we didn't have assets. It wasn't as complicated logistically for us to split up. It was easier. But now there's more things involved and there's a lot of paperwork. And when lawyers are involved. And in reading through some of this paperwork, I was telling some of my friends this, it feels a bit like a slap in the face. And I know that this isn't the case, but it feels like my relationship and my marriage have been reduced to legal jargon. You know, seeing our names and seeing the date of our marriage and the city we got married in and some of those like legal details. And it sounds so official and cold and very, very unemotional, which of course it has to be. It has to be professional. But, you know, reading through it, it feels incredibly reductive and it makes me angry. I want to throw the paperwork in the trash. I want to call the lawyer and say, we need to add this part in there. You know, can my feelings be put in there? Can there be a clause? You know, wife with a capital W, as it is in these legal paperwork, her feelings and emotions, how she's feeling so strongly about this, and you know, kind of have like can I write a poem about him It'll be nice, I promise. It'll be full of love. It'll be all about that. But you can't. And it's frustrating, and it adds to the grief process. And it's just, I think I wanted just to point out, like, there are so many little moments that pile up into this inferno of grief that I don't, it's similar to the passing of my dad. Like, this has rearranged my DNA. It's changed me, not necessarily for the worst. Is it worst or worse? I never know. It's changed me, and I'm slightly different for it. But the thing that I have control over, and that's one of my takeaways here for you, the thing I have control over is which memories do I want to hold on to, my self-awareness around it, how I reflect on it, especially how I show up for my soon-to-be ex-husband and my kids and myself throughout this whole process. And what I am choosing to do is to stand in gratitude for what we had, like so many years of being in love, and remembering like how wonderful it was to fall in love with that person. And to create two great kids and to raise them with such fun and joy and love for them and for each other and for our family. And things have just been rearranged. Things have ended that look like that, and now they are rearranged. And it's hard. It fucking hurts that it has to be rearranged this way, but it has to be rearranged this way. And that's been really hard. But for me, it's been necessary, because I refuse to walk into the next chapter of my life with anger or, God forbid, fucking hatred. No. Yeah, I want to walk into it with promise of something new, and that can only come from a place of gratitude and love for what's behind us. And with that comes accepting and walking through the fire that is the grief of this whole process. So multiple things can be true here. It can hurt and suck and be terrible, and I have a lot of grief around it. And it can also be exciting and new and a fresh start. And all of those things. It can be all of those things, and it will be all of those things. And that's how I'm getting through it. So I hope you can have some takeaways from this. If you've gone through something similar in the past, or if you are right now, or if you know someone who has, send them this. I love you all. Thank you for holding the space for me to have these conversations with you and with myself. It's immensely helpful. And I hope you have a great day. And remember, it's our life's journey to make ourselves better humans, and our life's responsibility to make the world a better place. Bye for now. Hey, did you know there's free secret podcast episodes waiting for you that are not part of my regular podcast feed? Yes, AndreaOwen.com/free. And you just sign up. You get a link sent to you. It's very secret. It's like a secret club. We don't have a secret handshake. Don't worry about that. But it's these motivating podcast episodes that I made for you. They're under 20 minutes each. There's 3 of them. They're for wherever you are in your life. So head on over there and grab them. They range from really supporting you and seeing you where you are and being compassionate, all the way to giving you a giant kick in your ass and telling you how amazing and gorgeous and phenomenal you are. So AndreaOwen.com/free, and get your hands on that free podcast feed.
I'd like to introduce you to the Minimalist Moms podcast. It's hard enough being a mom, and the last thing you need is stress from too much stuff and an overcrowded schedule. For too long, I lived with the mindset that bigger was better, and the more I added to my life, instead of feeling better, I felt overwhelmed. It was time for a radical new mindset. Less is more. I'm not into extremes. I didn't throw everything away. My brand of minimalism is more about adding than subtracting. Get rid of the excess to make room for what you love. In other words, it's about living life with purpose. I hope you'll listen in and my guest and myself can inspire you to think more and do with less. The Minimalist Moms Podcast, available wherever you listen to podcasts.